Hi there, thanks for tuning into Stamp TV. Today I'm going to talk about FARBAR contract. Stay tuned because at the end of the video, I'll give you a special offer that you won't want to miss. I'm Kristen Stampini with RE/MAX Services and welcome to Stamp TV. Let's get started. The inspection period can typically be between 5 and 15 days, depending on the amount of time allotted for such inspection to be done. In the contract you are signing, your realtor should guide you as to the amount of time to allow. You want to have a reliable local inspector do your inspection. A FARBAR is a pre-printed offer contract that has been designed and approved by both the Florida Realtor Association, FAR, and the Lawyer Association, BAR, and is a standard for all transactions in Florida. It is an as-is FARBAR. That means that the seller will not make any repairs that they're required to do on the property, or you buy what you see. You, however, still have the right to conduct an inspection and break the contract without penalty during the inspection period, which is usually anywhere between 7 and 15 days. If you buy or sell real estate in the state of Florida, chances are you have come across the FARBAR as-is contract, which was created jointly, as I said, by both the Florida Association and the Bar Association. So this is a contract that's widely utilized as a standard form in real estate transactions, not least because it's comprehensive contingency clauses, which lay out the conditions and obligations that must be met by the parties for the contract to be binding. So a broad overview of the FARBAR is contract contingencies. A contingency clause gives the parties a right to back out of the contract based on certain circumstances or situations that must be negotiated between them. If any one of these contingencies isn't met, the contract may be canceled and at least one of the parties can back out without any legal repercussions. If all contingencies are met, however, the contract is legally binding and any party trying to back out may be in breach of the contract, leading to legal and financial consequences up to and including litigation. The following are some of the contingencies every buyer and seller should be familiar with before embarking on a real estate transaction. The appraisal contingency. This is a contingency that requires that the buyer obtain at his or her expense a written appraisal of the property from a Florida licensed appraiser. If this contingency is placed in the contract, the value of the appraisal must meet a certain minimum amount as specified and agreed upon in the contract. If the appraisals result are less than the agreed amount, the buyer has one of two options: terminating the contract and receiving a full refund of their deposit, or waiving this to contingency and proceeding with the contract. The appraisal contingency is usually found in a separate addendum that is added onto the standard as-is contract. So financing contingency, also known as the mortgage contingency, this gives the buyer a certain time frame to apply for and obtain financing for the purchase of the property. It also protects the buyer from allowing them to back out of the contract with their deposit in the event that they cannot get the funds needed to go forward with the purchase. The financing contingency sets a date by which the buyer must get financing or else terminate the contract. So the buyer has until this date to secure a loan approval. terminate the contract, or request an extension that must be agreed upon in writing by the seller. If the buyer fails to take any of these actions, the contingency is waived and their deposit is placed at risk if the transaction fails to close. Inspection contingency, also called a due diligence contingency. It gives the buyer a specified time frame to inspect the property for any issues such as with the plumbing or the roof or the electrical finishes, HVAC, and so on. If issues are discovered, the buyer or the professional inspector must deliver the findings to the seller, who can agree to cover the cost of the repairs or provide the buyer with a written credit under the standard terms of the as-is contract. However, the seller is not obligated to do either. So if the buyer cannot reach an agreement with the seller, the buyer can timely cancel the contract prior to the expiration of the inspection period and receive his or her deposit back. So the house sale contingency, with this contingency, the buyer has a specified amount of time to sell their existing home and use the proceeds to help finance the one that they are getting ready to purchase. If they can't sell the home for the specified asking price, the buyer can back out of the contract without legal consequences. This also gives the seller the right to cancel the contract if the buyer's home is not sold for the amount of time that's specified in the time frame on the contract. This type of contingency language has to be specifically added to the FARBAR as-is contract, as it is not contained in the standard contract terms. So lease contingency, if the subject property is being leased at the time of the transaction, the seller is obligated to make you aware of this fact and provide a copy of the executed lease. It is not unheard of for the buyers to purchase a property only to discover after the closing that someone is actually living there based upon a previous lease. This will lead to an inconvenient and possibly even legal situation for everyone. This contingency ensures that no such surprises will spring up on you when you acquire the property. So it's important. The bottom line of the FARBAR as-is contract, although the FARBAR as-is contract is designed to offer a streamlined and standardized approach to real estate transaction, it pays to have a title and closing agent that offers additional guidance in complying with these contingencies and ensuring the other party does the same. As an attorney-owned and operated title company that we have personally in our office, they do all that for us. So we make sure that we take care of everything and have smooth transaction. Thanks again for tuning in to my channel. I hope you liked the video today. And if so, don't forget to hit the thumbs up below, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Also, click on the bell icon so that you'll receive instant notifications for new episodes every Tuesday. If you want a copy of the FARBAR contract, leave a comment below, reach out to me, and we'll be happy to send it over to you. I also have a podcast named Stamp of Approval, where I disclose much more in-depth information, tips and tricks all about real estate for buyers and sellers, and it's helpful to real estate agents too. So you can find the link below to that as well. Thanks for joining me today. See you next week.